Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and I was always told I had a voice radio, so today I am bringing you round one from the Norwich League Challenge. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the third league challenge I've put up in the last couple of weeks, and honestly, this is going to be a very competitive league challenge. There are some very good players, there are some very good decks, and I should give a huge shout out before I start properly to Scott Simmons and Matt Cotton and everyone at Athena Games in Norwich who went out of their way to record this video. They actually, not unlike Ben Rollison in Sutton Coldfield, they recorded the footage and sent it to me because they are lovely, lovely people. And I very, very much appreciate that. Now, we are in the standard format at the moment, which means we're playing from Primal Clash to Steam Siege. And we are playing single game. On the left, we've got Guy Bevan, who I believe is going to be playing a dark style deck. And on the right, we have Matt Cotton. He is going to be playing a Garchomp deck. Now, regular viewers of this channel will know I've done a couple of Garchomp videos lately. I made a video explaining Garchomp and what it does and how it works. It's proven quite popular. I also did another video which has proven moderately popular, that being a Garchomp list video. And I can tell you, because I've had a chat with Matt is a lovely guy. He has told me that he is in fact using that exact 60 card Garchomp list. So, and I think he might have actually taken it off my channel. So cheers to Matt for telling me that before we get going. And like I say, thanks to everyone at Athena Games, they are lovely, lovely people. Now, this is going to be a very interesting game because Garchomp is very good against some dark Pokemon. You chuck a Darkrai or a Zoroark up against a Garchomp, and Garchomp hits for weakness and smashes them directly in the face. But against something like an Yveltal EX that has 170 HP and a resistance to fighting, Garchomp is going to be a bit of a pain. Now, Garchomp does 160 for 2 energy. If against an EX, and that of course is increased by strong energy, which does an extra 20 damage per strong energy. But we are going to be here interested to see about Bursting Balloon, because trying to get a one-hit KO on an Yveltal without a Bursting Balloon, very, very difficult. But if you can use Bursting Balloon, that will be a lot better. Now, straight away from Matt, we see he does not start Talonflame. We know Matt's playing 4 Gibbles for Talonflame. He does get a double Gibble start, but he doesn't get a Talonflame. Now, he does use an Ultra Ball to get rid of a strong energy. That's fine, because Garchomp recovers them using his first attack. To be honest, if you've got a strong energy on the field, getting another one is actually not a bad play at all. Getting one in the discard can be helpful. Getting rid of a rare candy, that is not something you ever want to do. Matt has gone and got himself a third Gibble, so 3 of his 4 Gibbles on the field right away. Not playing Shaman, playing for Talonflame, but of course you can only play Talonflame if you start with him. Matt is not playing Fletchinder here. Oh, and this is a nice start. We see the high five from the Sycamore. What I love here is, I was wondering why Matt got rid of the rare candy, and I was thinking Matt better have a Sycamore in hand, or I am gonna have to diss him for this play. And Matt's a good dude, we're friends, I can diss him if he does a stupid thing. Matt has not done a stupid thing. He was gonna have to Sycamore that turn. Well, he was going to Sycamore. He kept the rare candy. Had he had a Garchomp in hand, he probably keeps the rare candy and evolves next turn. He didn't. He needs to Sycamore to dig for that rare candy. And he gets a Silent Lab onto the field, turning off the abilities of all basic Pokemon. That means that Mew, for instance, is not going to be able to copy the attacks of basic Pokemon, because that Mew has an ability that allows him to copy the attacks. Sorry, Mew. Gutted. Now, a Trainer's Mail does come down from Guy here. Oh, but he actually gets himself a Parallel City. Now, I think he's put it down to limit Matt's bench size to 3. I believe that's the way it's gone round. And we actually see a double Puzzle of Time coming down here straight away. Unusual, but he's got it, so he plays it. And he's playing very fast here. Is that another Trainer's Mail we've just seen? We shall have to see. I can't see entirely what he's going to put in his hand there. So, he's going to got himself a Shaman. So, we've seen it must be an Ultra Ball of some description. Now, we see a Fist Bump coming down here. I've not seen the convention that you Fist Bump when you Shaman with an empty hand. You do get a high five when you Sycamore with an empty hand. Apparently, they're going Fist Bump. Now, we do see an energy on the Mew here. We see an Ultra Ball coming down, getting rid of an energy and an Eco Arm for another Shaman, which will conclusively prove that the Parallel City is limiting Matt's bench to 3. If it wasn't, then he wouldn't be able to bench this Shaman. And yeah, I've just managed to get the card up just to double check. So, Guy is having damage done from his Grass, Fire or Water Pokemon reduced by 20. Not that that really matters. So, we see an N coming down here, and Guy really is just looking at all of the things that he's played this turn. It has been a very fast turn, but he's got a couple of Mews. He's got an X and Y Yveltal down, the one that's got Oblivion Wing. 30 damage for 1 energy and attach a dark to your bench. And of course, we saw Guy get rid of a dark energy right at the beginning of the game, or beginning of his turn, which is going to help him. And he's got a couple of Shamans down. One good play with Parallel City is actually to just bench a whole bunch of Shamans, then limit your bench to 3, and then discard your bench Shamans to do so. It's a fun little play. So we do see, I believe it's a Trainer's Mail coming down here, is it not? Yes. So he has got a Trainer's Mail. He's trying to make that decision. It looks like he's got a Super Rod there, but he chooses to take nothing and just shuffle it all back into his deck. Guy playing at a brisk pace here, really putting my skills to the test as a commentator. Oh, and it looks like, I think he was going, by his reaction, I've got to assume he was going for a Max Elixir there. Because I don't know what else he's really looking for. He did have a switch, but he hasn't got it. Oh, and a bursting balloon here. So we've actually got double bursting balloon. And Mew there copying Yveltal's Oblivion Wing to do 30 damage and attach to the bench. Silent Lab comes straight away down from Matt here. Given that Mew has got free retreat, if I were Guy, I would have been tempted to just retreat to the Yveltal and then have attached to the Yveltal and attack with that instead. Personally, I think that would have been a safer play here, because that Mew's just got less HP. Now he still could have put the bursting balloon onto the Mew, so that wouldn't have been the end of the world. That would have been my preference. Mew's only got 50 HP, and Matt might decide that he's okay giving up 60 of his hit points by hitting into the bursting balloon to get a KO. Whereas that Yveltal, it's got 130 HP and a fighting resistance. Now Matt there uses his level ball. He's only playing 1 Gabite. He whiffs the Gabite. He's got 4 Gibbles on the bench. There's nothing he could have got on there. That N from Guy does not appear to have done Matt any favours here, as we see a Sycamore coming down from Guy, getting rid of a Versus Seeker, which is not ideal. And Matt here doesn't seem to have very much at all. Now here's the other reason I would have been going for the Yveltal here. The Mew cannot Oblivion Wing. If the Mew uses Oblivion Wing here, and bearing in mind there's a Silent Lab down, now he has them all, and he hits off the first Max Elixir there. Look at the top 6 cards of your deck. If you find a basic Pokemon, you may attach it to one of your benched basic Pokemon. And then he does a second one here straight away, and he hits that one as well. It looks like he's playing enough basic energy to make it worthwhile. 12 is the usual figure I give out to people in these videos. Now, first of all, he can't Oblivion Wing with Mew while he's got a Silent Lab in play. That's just the way it is. But secondly, he's not going to be able to do so because he's hitting into a bursting balloon. Now, it's interesting there. He could have just retreated and Oblivion Winged with the other Yveltal. He chose to pass his turn without attacking, so he didn't attack into the bursting balloon. But those Garchomps are going to have a lot of HP. They're going to take a lot of KOing. Even with the bursting balloon attached, honestly, I would have gone for the I would have just taken the KO with the Yveltal there. I would have just retreated the Mew into the Yveltal, used the Oblivion Wing for 30 to KO the Gible, and I'd still have been on 70 HP with a fighting resistance. So, you know, Garchomp's first attack for Strong Energy would not have done anything. Now, we saw a Ninja Boy coming down there, switching a Shaman into a Fright Knight Yveltal, which I like because Fright Knight Yveltal's ability turns off the effect of all tools, including Bursting Balloon. Of course, it won't at the moment because of the Silent Lab that's in play, but I think Guy missed a trick there. If I were him, you've used Mew's free retreat into the Yveltal, and then you Oblivion Wing for 30, get the KO on the Gible, you take the 6 damage counters, because you know what? You've still got 70 HP and a resistance to fighting. Now, Matt here, we know his Gabite is prized. Oh, and a Trainer's Mail for a rare candy is good, as long as he's got a Garchomp in his hand. We know his lone Gabite is prized. We know he's only playing one, because we know he's playing the list I put up on my channel. And we know it's prized, because he played a level ball and didn't get it. And he's already discarded a rare candy. So, not ideal here. But he's got a rare candy here, and he's got the Garchomp. So, well, he's got the Ultra Ball for the Garchomp, and he's going to get a KO on the Mew here, because Mew's got a pitiful 50 HP. Sorry, Mew, I don't mean to be rude, but 50 HP, it ain't ideal. Now, if Matt could double Garchomp here, then he'd be able to use Garchomp's free retreat, and then hit with a fresh Garchomp that has, you know, strong energy and all attached anyway, but he can't, so... Oh, he's choosing to manually retreat. This is what I was hoping he was going to do with a double Garchomp. I'm cool with this play. Also, you notice from the Ultra Ball, he discarded a Twins, which he can reuse with Versus Seeker, and he discarded a Talonflame, which is completely useless. So, I'm okay with this. This is fine by me. And he attaches there to the non-damage Gible, which is, of course, the right play. So, Guy pops up the Darkrai here. Is he just trying to get the KO since there's no Bursting Balloon in play? I think that's what he's trying to do here. Just hit, you know, hard here. Now, Matt does not currently have a Garchomp in play. So, Guy's thought process here is, right, I know that Darkrai is weak to Garchomp. So what I can do here is I can get the KO. Now, he's going to KO me back, and that's upsetting. I'm going to lose my Darkrai. This is, shall we say, a less than ideal situation. But you know what? I can live with this. Even if I'm losing 2 prizes off the Darkrai, I'm getting rid of the Garchomp. And, crucially, he hasn't got a Garchomp there to return the KO as it stands at the moment. So, we see an end coming down from Guy here. And essentially, he's going to be trying to use Dark Pulse, 20 damage plus 20 for each Dark Energy in play. He essentially needs 6 Dark Energy in play, which will then do 140 total, Garchomp having 130 HP. And he's only got 5 Dark Energy in play at the moment, which means he's only doing 120 damage, which is not going to... It's not going to KO that Garchomp as it stands. So... he's having to retreat the Darkrai, put up the Yveltal, and use Oblivion Wing here to get that attack going. So Matt there just hits for 50, and then he is able to attach an energy. Now, there is enough energy on the field, but unfortunately, there is naught we can do about that. 'Tis unfortunate. So, now we get the Garchomp active from Matt. And Matt here really wants a Lysander. Now, I believe he only plays 1 copy of the Lysander. So, it would be superb if he could find that Lysander here, take out that Darkrai, get a couple of prizes. He has got the rare candy Garchomp, and that's pretty good. But... and actually, he can free retreat into the Garchomp. Oh, there's an escape rope. I quite like this. Because either he gets a prize off the Mew, 2 prizes off the Darkrai, 2 prizes off the Shaman, or that Fright Night Yveltal goes into the active and he's got a retreat cost of 2, which can be very, very awkward. And with that Silent Lab in play, his ability is doing nothing. So we get the KO on the Mew, we get the energy onto the Garchomp, and then there's a Lysander, and this has got to be the play here. Yveltal's second attack does 100 damage for free energy. Oh, he flips ahead. Tails he couldn't attack next turn, but he flips the heads. He gets the KO on the Garchomp without having to hit into Bursting Balloon. And that's what you want to do against Garchomp. You don't want to hit that Bursting Balloon and take 6 damage counters. You want to be taking KOs, avoiding the Bursting Balloon, and he did that beautifully. Not only did he get the KO, not only did he avoid the Bursting Balloon, but he was actually able there to get his Yveltal into play, into the active, 130 and a resistance to dark and, to fighting, and not an EX. Which means Garchomp is doing 80 with his second attack. It's gonna take, if he got all 4 of his strong energy in play on the same Garchomp, he would be doing 160, which with the resistance would go down to 140, which would be a one-hit KO. I think it's safe to assume Matt is probably not getting all 4 strong energy onto the same Garchomp there. It's not very likely, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. Hey-ho, these things happen. So what he does is he hits for 60. The strong energy and the resistance cancel each other out, 60, and he gets an energy on his benched Garchomp. Now, let's hope he's drawn the Gabite out of his prizes. Because as it stands at the moment, Matt is out of rare candy. He's used all 4. He's used 3 rare candy to evolve. And just reminder there, Bursting Balloon does, of course, get discarded at the end of your turn, regardless. So at the end of your opponent's next turn, that Bursting Balloon just goes away. We know Matt discarded a rare candy early game. We know that Matt has evolved 3 Garchomps using rare candy. So we know he is now down to potentially 1 final Garchomp after this. Now we see a Ninja Boy. And he's switching out that Yveltal. Is he going to go for an Yveltal EX? That would be quite a nice play here. Oh, he's counting up his energy. So is he going for a Darkrai? Usually you would count the energy to go for a Darkrai. Now we've said it's 6 dark energy needed. 6 dark energy times 20 is 120. Add to 20 base is 140. With Garchomp's 130 HP, that will be enough to get the KO. So, no, he is going the Yveltal EX. So here we're talking 1 energy on the active Garchomp, 3 on the Yveltal, that's 80 damage, plus the 20 standard is 100, so not currently enough to get the KO. If he's got a double colourless energy in hand, and we know he plays it because there's 1 on the Darkrai, that will be enough to get the KO, but he doesn't. That should be 100 damage, not 80. It should either be, that should be 100 damage, because Evil Ball does 20 damage for each energy attached to both active Pokemon. There's 4 energy, that's 80, plus the 20 base is 100 damage. So unfortunately, that is a little bit of a miscalculation there. That should be, unless I'm missing something, and if I am, that's what the comment section is there for. That is a miscalculation there. I'm just checking the Yveltal here. 20 damage plus 20 for each energy attached to both active Pokemon. 4 energy, 80 damage plus the 20 base. So, that Yveltal has 110 HP, which means, well, it's effectively 130 with the resistance. Here, however, Matt is doing 180, which is going to be more than enough to take those 2 prizes. So, now this is actually very important here. Well, could be very important. Because if there was an Yveltal XY here, the one with Oblivion Wing, then that Garchomp having 30 HP remaining. Oh, and it is, because he could get the KO with Shaman here. Now, as it turns out, he's just gone and got the KO with Yveltal. But would he have got the KO with Shaman if he'd have known? Now, again, I might have missed some. Oh, as it is, Lysander brings it up, gets the KO with the Garchomp, and it is irrelevant. So, as it stands, we are fine. There was no there was a mistake with the damage calculation as far as I could see, but it doesn't matter because even had the Shaman got the KO, Matt still would have brought the Garchomp out, still would have Lysandered the Darkrai, still would have taken his final 2 prizes for the win. Now, once again, a huge thank you to Scott and Matt and everyone over at Athena Games in Norwich. Clearly one of my favourite places to play in the UK, and I don't say that because I feel obliged. I say that because it's true. Now, this is where you come in, ladies and gentlemen. Click that like button, click that subscribe button, chuck all the comments down below you like, and yeah, I will see you very shortly with another round. Get excited, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be wonderful. Look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.